video. The other day, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Chris Martin of Coldplay, who is a pro-Palestinian dingbat that can't stand Israelis, and that was quite evident in the video that went rather viral over on X, and I've been meaning to make a video about my reaction to it because it was honestly disgusting. Can only imagine how the Israelis that were there felt as Chris Martin decides to, oh, I'm going to acknowledge you as humans. Oh, he seems visibly distraught that there are two Israeli women sitting right beside him. And then he decides to do one of the most disgusting things I have seen in a long time. Because the Israelis are up on stage with him and they said they're from Israel or they're Jewish, he decides to acknowledge the Palestinian people in the audience or just abroad, because you can't just acknowledge the Israelis without somehow these days also acknowledging the Palestinian people. See, they have to be coincided people, because apparently, according to Chris Martin, by his actions the other night, Palestinian people deserve to be recognized as well. They deserve to be loved and treated with dignity and respect. It wasn't even their bloody moment. There weren't even any Palestinians on the stage. There were just Israelis. But no, Chris Martin, being the dingbat that he is, being all for Palestinian, I can't be seen to be on the stage with two Israelis. This is unconscionable. Who in the world brought these two people on the stage? Was this a trick? Was this to uproot me? Can only imagine how he must have felt backstage, man, to his audience members or to his crew. Hey, make sure next time you don't put me on the spot like that ever again. Now, this is off the backing of Chris Martin ruining, in all fairness, it was their own fault. The CEO cheating on his wife, their own fault. But at a Coldplay concert, and to be honest, I'm not exactly a major fan of Coldplay. I like maybe one or two of their songs, but not to get away from that point. Okay. So Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro had something to say about Chris Martin deciding to be rather despicable and rude to the two Israeli women that were invited up on stage that were just there for Coldplay. They weren't there for politics, but he made it political, because the moment you mention that you're Jewish or Israeli to a pro-Palestinian Muslim defender or terrorist defender, obviously you're going to make it political, aren't you? Anyway, here is what Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro had to say about that video. Have a watch.
She's not wrong about Israel becoming more and more controversial, and that is why Chris Martin did what he did at the Coldplay concert the other night, which I just thought was shameful. I can't believe it's at this point now where you get an Israeli on the stage and you have to you're jarred. You can clearly see, I'm going to play the clip. You can see he's jarred when he says, where are you from? She says, Israel, as if she said, I don't know.
Hell.
North Korea.
Yeah,
something where you were holy shit, what have you been through? What's going on? I'll play the clip and we'll talk about it. Here it is.
Where did you come from today? From Israel. Okay, well. Okay, well, listen.
Wow, he says.
I'm very grateful that you're here as humans, and I'm treating you as equal humans on earth, regardless of where you come from or don't. Thank you for being here.
Good for you, dude.
So sweet.
Thank you for being loving and kind. And although it's controversial, maybe, I also want to welcome people in the audience from Palestine, because we have a belief that we're all equally human.
I want to treat you as equal humans on earth.
Well, don't do any favors.
I know.
First of all, you're Coldplay. You suck. Second of all, and apparently all he does is just go around ruining random people's lives at Coldplay concerts. That's just all that happens. Beware if you go to a Coldplay concert, you get what's coming to you. But yeah, the entire premise, which is look at me, I'm bestowing humanity on you because you come from a country that's in the middle of a war after the worst assault on Jews since World War II. And now I'm also going to name check, people who are on the other side of that. Would you do this in literally any other circumstance?
No.
If it were Russians, let's say they're Russians, and they said, I'm from Russia, would you say, well, I just have to throw it out there. You're human, and so are people from. I'm just going to name check Ukraine. I can't imagine him doing. I can't imagine him doing something like that.
Ben and Megyn hit the nail right on the head. Imagine if there was two Russians up on stage. Would he feel the desire or feel like he was doing the right thing by then name checking Ukrainians and saying, I just feel like we're all equal humans here. So the Russians that are here, thank you for being good humans because you're at a Coldplay concert. And all the Ukrainians in the audience just want to make sure that you're okay too because you're human as well. No, the only reason why he did that was because the pro-Palestinian nut jobs, they're exactly that. They're nut jobs. It's become this virtue signaling message now that has got to be sent loud and wide to everyone. You can't just be, for Israel. You've also got to be apparently for Palestinian people too. You've got to be for Palestine, which doesn't exist. But anyway, according to Coldplay and Chris Martin, he wanted to be seen as something he's actually not. He's a leftist dingbat. Lots of the musicians, I don't know if you guys have noticed, they all seem to side with the Palestinian cause, seem to think that Israel is the big bad wolf. But keeping in mind that they would only be allowed to play in Israel, they wouldn't be allowed to play in Gaza. Maybe they should think about that. But of course, the radical leftists don't think about that because they don't do much thinking at all. They do a lot of virtue signaling about, well, certain issues that they know nothing about, and that's quite abundantly clear. You can tell by how they talk and how they act and how they go through the world. So, yeah, man, Chris Martin, it's Coldplay. He was visibly shocked that two Israelis were up on stage. Hey, where have you guys come from? Of all places, Israel. Oh, no, I'm going to acknowledge you two as human beings in the crowd, in the audience as love, as a good human. And then I just also want to acknowledge the Palestinian people in the audience too, because we're all kind, we're all loving. Goodness me, man, get a grip. These people are really insufferable, right? I'm glad that Megyn Kelly and Ben Shapiro called him out on his bull, because we're all fed up with it. We're all sick of it. Anyway, that's enough from me. You guys take care. Be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.